Hello guys, you're welcome back to the channel. Today this is 401 styling. On the channel today we'll be drafting a basic sleeve using two different methods to get the same outcome. Yes, the first method we'll be using to draft a long sleeve, while the second method will be using to draft a short sleeve. So we'll start with the long sleeve by taking our long sleeve length at the midpoint of our pattern paper to create a straight line. Okay, so after getting that, you demarcate where the line stops and starts from. Okay, so I'll just use a straight line at the base like so. Then I will make the mid line visible. I already drew that with my pencil, that is why, because I don't want to take our time. So just basically find the main point of your pattern paper and draw a straight line. So after that, I'll be using this part as my top and this other line as the base of my sleeve. So after which I've done that, I would take the cap sleeve. This cap sleeve is not a fixed figure actually, so depending on the kind of sleeve you're making, I'll be making 4 inches, so you can make more than that, 5, 6, 7 inches, especially if you're making a suit or a jacket sleeve. So the lower the figure, the more it's fitted around your arm. So 4 inches, and I'll be drawing a straight line like so. So after this, I will impute every other vertical measurement. That is my upper arm, my elbow, the wrist. So now I'll take the I'll take the elbow, and the standard for the elbow is 13 inches, I guess, yes. So I'll mark 13 inches like so, and then I would connect with a straight ruler. That is my elbow line. Then I'll take my wrist measurement. So before you could take your wrist measurement, you can just measure around your client's wrist or your wrist. So after that, you impute the measurement of your upper arm divided by 2. That is, if you have 10, from that midpoint line, you would impute the measurement divided by 2. So this is my elbow. I have about 10 inches. That is, I'll be taking 5 inch on both sides. So now I'll come to the wrist like so. I'll fold my arm like so. I'll fold my palm and measure my wrist round, so that I have 8 inches. So that is, I'll be taking 4 inch on both sides of the straight line. Okay, after which I've done that, I'll connect everything with a straight line. The sides, starting from the wrist to the upper arm, like so. I'll connect the upper arm. I'll just make the line visible because I already drafted the line with a pencil. So after that, from this upper part, I'll connect to these two lines with a straight ruler. So that is where we would be making or getting our arm curve, that is our shoulder curve, the curve around our basic bodice, and the curve that we used to have on our sleeve. So the first thing now is to label the front and the back, because the two sides will be different. Okay, let me just turn this round so that we can see clearly. So on this line now, I'll be dividing both lines into 2 equal half. Okay, so whatever you have, you divide it into 2 equal half on the front and on the back, like so. Okay, so just calm down and see this process. So these other 2 line, you divide it to 2 again. So to make things easier for you, just make use of your centimeter. Okay, that is the purpose of tape reading. So make use of centimeter. That is how you can get a straightforward measurement, because around that place I think I have about a kind of round up figure. So just make use of your centimeter to make things easier for you. Okay, I like to make use of my centimeter in this kind of aspect. Okay, so you divide the lines basically into four altogether. So you have four for the back front and four on the back. Okay, so after which you have done that, the next thing now, you come to this front part. The first line that we have here, you come up by 0.75. Okay, just measure 0.75, come up. You can draw you can draw a faint line like so. You ignore the middle point, then you come to the third point and measure 0.75 downward. Remember, the first one is going upwards while the other one is going downwards. Then you connect the 3 points. You can make use of your curve rule or you make use of your free hand. But when you are doing this, be careful with the placement of the curves. Most time, some people do not, because you should just look at where you are connecting to. Some people do not make use of curve, they make use of their free hand. Okay, but if you can make use of your curve too, just use pencil first so that in case there's any rough or the lines you're not satisfied with the line, you can easily rub it up and draw it again. Just watch me. It might not be clear, I will still make use of my pen to make it visible. Okay, just watch the way I'm placing the curve rule. Be patient around this area. It's kind of tricky. Do you see? Then you connect down back to that point. Okay, so I'll make use of my pencil now to draw it again. Do you see the line? It should be clear. Let me just use a pen. Okay, so now I'm making use of a pen to trace it out. By the time you make use of your cover, you still have to use your free hand to blend it, because our hands are not, it might not be rhyme. It can be rhyme. That's just the truth about it. But it's just good if you can know, or you can just master how to use your cover sometimes. Because me as a person, I like to make use of whatever I have. Okay, do you see that the lines are not that rhyme? I'll just be making use of my free hand to blend it rather. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly do so now by clicking on the subscribe button and the bell beside it to be notified whenever I drop a new video. Now on the back side, on this first point, you come up by 0.5 inches, just like you did for the front. Okay, 0.5 like so. Just draw a slight line. Okay, then you come to this last part we divided, then you divide it by 2 again. You divide it into 2 equal half. I think I have 5 centimeter, that's 2.5 centimeter on each side. So from that last dot, you come down by 0.5. Watch my tape closely. 0.5. Remember, the first one is 0.75, but this one is 0.5. Then you connect the lines. This time around, I'll use my pencil to connect it. Watch me. Yes, you can see I'm trying to draw a faint line. And by the time I'm sure and satisfied of the shape, I can now make it thicker and more visible. Do we see that? So now I'll now be making use of my cover just to make it more, just to bring out the beauty. So guys, give this video a thumbs up. If you are watching for the first time, thanks for watching. Click on the subscribe button. Do not forget to like and share this video to whom it may concern. Please be careful of the placement of your curve. It's kind of tricky but interesting. You are going to love the outcome. Do we see? Voila. Yeah, so I love it already. Is it looking nice or not? Of course it is. So you can use this method to draft any kind of sleeve you want to make. So by the time you are transferring to the fabric, you'll be adding seam allowance. At the top, you'll be adding ½ inch. By the side, you add 1 inch. Okay, when you're transferring to the fabric. But make sure that you demarcate the front and back before cutting on fabric so that you will not mix it up. Then you add your seam allowance round, and at the hem line of the sleeve you can add as small as 2.5 3 inches, depending on how much fold you want on the hem line. Okay, so that is that for the long sleeve. I'll just cut this out now. Okay, so while cutting, remember this is a basic sloper. You don't need to add a seam allowance. But if you are someone like me that used to forget something, you can just basically add the allowance on the pattern too. Then you demarcate on it that you have seam allowance already. So that is all for our long sleeve and for the first method. So now we'll just place this aside. Then we'll draft the second method, and that'll be a short sleeve. So guys, for this short sleeve and for this method, we'll be folding our pattern paper into two. Remember the first one we did not fold the pattern paper, but this one will be folding the pattern paper because both the front and the back will be drafted together. Now I'll take the length of the sleeve, 12 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, that's 13 inches altogether. Okay, so then I'll connect with a straight ruler like so. Okay, so for this method now, as I've said before, the front and the back will be together. So after getting the length, you take the cap sleeve, and for this method we'll be using another method for the cap sleeve. You divide your bust measurements by 12 plus 0.5. Whatever you get, that is where you mark from the top. Remember I said the calf sleeve length is not fixed, so you can also make use of this method to get your cap sleeve. Okay, so that's line I'm making your 3.5 for this, and I'll be drawing a straight line. You see that 3.5 per 4 inch is not, the difference is not much. So on this line you measure what you have on your basic bodice, the armhole you drafted, you measure whatever you have, then you impute it there, divided by 2. Okay, and you impute it there. So after that you connect that point to the top of this paper like so. Just watch me. You connect it a straight line. So after that you find the midpoint of that line. After finding the middle point of the line, so on that midpoint you come up by 0.5 inches. Okay, come up by 0.5 inches, and from that 0.5 you connect back to that line around the armhole area. You connect back to it. Do not forget the front and the back is together, so we're drafting the back first. So connect to the line like so. We are drafting the back now. We'll draft the front later. So you connect with your curve row gently. Okay, you can make use of you can also use your free hand for this too, but just be careful. Oh, sorry. Okay, so after which you have done that, that is that about the back pattern. It is when we are cutting that we'll be differentiating. Just watch me. So for the front pattern now, you see that midpoint, that 1 inch, instead of placing the ruler on top, you place it at the base. From that top of the pattern to that ½ inch, make sure the lines connect. Okay, with your curve rule, then you connect. Be careful, just watch closely, then you connect like so. So after that you turn your curve rule like so and connect back to that starting point, okay, with that same curve. And that is that about our front curve. Okay, so this is the back and this is the front. So it is when you are cutting, you open it up. So the next thing now is to take our wrist measurement depending on how wide you want it to be. So I'll be using 13 inches. This is 6.5. And after which you have measured 6.5 on the seam allowance, there is one thing I want to tell us: to get the fold accurately, to avoid shortage. After taking your 6.5, then you add 1 inch. Instead of connecting straight, you connect slant back to that 1 inch. Do we understand that part? Instead of connecting it straight down, you connect to that 1 inch you added. So you'll be having like a V shape around that area. So you connect like this and connect back to that 1 inch. Do we see that now? Sorry. Do we see? So after cutting, I will explain more and we would understand better. So now we'll be cutting out the back first because it's quite the front is shorter than the back. So just watch the way I cut so that you won't cut the two together, but you are cutting the back part first. Do you see the way I cut the hemline? By the time you are folding it back, there is no how you want to have shortage around that line. So I'll cut the back first. When drafting, you can basically just write it on it so that you mix things up. So for the front now, we have to open up the pattern like so. Okay, so you just label front and back. Okay, in case someone is cutting for you, and when you cut on fabric too, demarcate the front and the back. So now watch closely and see how I cut on the front curve, and you'll be stopping at the midpoint. So just notch that midpoint like so. So that is that about the second method. I purposely make use of this calendar so that it will be more clear by the time we finish cutting. You see that the front is shorter than the back. Okay, now for this part now, by the time you fold your hemline, you will see that you have excess. So there's no how this hemline will be shorter at the back. So after that, you can just trim out the excess, and you have a very accurate and smart and sorry I say smart, you just have that area, you just have a peace of mind around that area because you already have an accurate hemline. Do we get it? So even before that, even apart from the accurate hemline, you have your midpoint already. So there's no need for you to be looking for the midpoint for where 1 inch stop or where you will fold. Okay, it gives you an automatic place to fold your sleeve. So that'll be that for the short sleeve and the second method. So this is the short sleeve and this is the long sleeve. So you can use method 1 to cut both long and short sleeve, and you can use method 2 to cut either of the two. So it all depends on the one that is more easier for you and you find interesting. Okay, but it's good if you can know the two methods. So guys, thanks for watching till this minute. I'm really grateful. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. So this is the long sleeve and the short sleeve. So I'll be in the comment section in case you have any question, any observation, or anything you want to talk about, any request. I'll be there waiting for you. So thank you very much guys once again, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, share, subscribe to my channel, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.